Action fanatics, welcome to another edition of the Bulletproof Podcast. I'm your host, Chris the Brain, and joining me once again from Frosty Land, it's the Toyman, Chris DePetrillo.
See, now I'm getting a warm reception now that we're on the air, but thank you. I'm here for another podcast, certainly not my last, even though we're about to go on the Last Crusade.
Indeed we are, and we're going on that Last Crusade with our good friend, Ryan Campbell.
Brain, I was very careful in picking which cup I was going to drink out of.
Yes, you better be.
Water in for the pod tonight.
Very smart. And you know what? This is such a big show. We needed a very special guest. So allow me to introduce industry analyst, location expert, learned scholar, acclaimed author, friend of the site, and midnight warrior. It's the direct-to-video connoisseur himself, Matt Poirier.
Thank you for having me on. And I can add to all that list. Among all of those things, I appreciate you mentioning all those. One thing I am not is I do not contain tobacco or depictions of tobacco. So if you watch this movie on Disney, you were warned about depictions of tobacco, but I don't contain any depictions of tobacco.
Very good. Very good. This is a good for your lungs episode. This is your second appearance, Matt, here on the show. You join now the likes of Michael Worth and Ian Garriott. Does anyone know who Ian Garriott is? Anyone?
Do you know who Ian Garriott is?
I do. Yeah, I was on the show with him. It's Chad Cruz's boss, and that's how he got on the show. He's a big Batman fan. He did our 2 Batman episodes. So he is there, Michael Worth, and now joining them in the 2 appearance club is the direct-to-video connoisseur.
Nice.
So, now
he gets a robe at 5 timers. That's
indeed. And last week we were talking about, as we did our 200th episode, like who had the most appearances, blah 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 blah. Ryan or Toyman, did either of you do the research on that?
Hell no.
I mean, if we're going by mentions, Gary Robbins has been on a lot of shows along with Barry Chan.
Damn, Barry Chan. No, but you know what? I had a little extra bandwidth in my week.
There we go.
So I did, and that's a hashtag corporate speak. I did the research.
Let's circle back and
I'm circling back to what we talked about last week, and now we're up to 201 episodes, and in the lead is me at 201. Coming in at number 2, Chad Cruz. 122.
Wow.
Coming in at number 3 is the Toyman with 108. Close behind is Ryan Campbell with 102.
Toyman, I need you to take a vacation or something.
Yeah. Then we've got we just don't have to invite him.
Brain needs a break. Brain needs a Toyman break.
RTG, big on X. He had 16, and the most frequent guest that we've had, Mr. Paul London, with 4. So there are the appearance statistics that I know everybody who listened last week has just been on the edge of their seat wondering who was number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6.
I know they were blowing me up all week, Brain. People just needed to know.
Well, there you go.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Indeed they do, and now they know. And now let's get into, because this is quite a film that we have selected here. And by we, I mean not me.
And we were remiss to say, Brain, that today is your birthday as this is dropping.
Well, this is dropping, yes, it is indeed.
It makes sense that we would pick one of your all-time favorites.
All time.
Your 75th birthday.
Thank you. That's you're taking Chad Cruz's spot. Very good. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, released on May 24th, 1989. You know the question I'm going to ask, Toyman. When was the first time you saw this film?
I did not see this one in the theater. It would have been when it premiered on, I believe it was HBO back in the day. So unfortunately, I did not get to experience this one on the big screen when I was younger.
I did. It wasn't right away though. I remember it was like I was already out of school, so it would have probably been late June that I saw that one. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, so it would have been a VHS sleepover party. Somebody rented it. And actually, one of the interesting things is I saw this before I saw either Raiders of the Lost Ark or Temple of Doom. Now, I saw Raiders not long after, but yeah, so this was actually my first introduction to the Indiana Jones series. And so that would have been a year or two after it came, it was in the theater.
Right. In fact, I'm glad you brought up Temple of Doom because you made a shocking confession on your show. You never saw all of Temple of Doom until just recently.
Yes. So I was always under the impression in my head that I had seen the whole film. And because I always remember that opening sequence,
with Club Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Right. And then, shorting around with the block on the gas pedal and all that. And so originally, I think on my podcast, I was saying I must have watched it as a kid and either turned it off because I was like, this is obnoxious. I don't want to watch this after that stuff. Or I fell asleep. But actually, I think it might have been in college. I might have been inebriated and we very vividly remember that early part. And then probably by the time, we had a campus movie channel that would play movies at like midnight, 4, 8, and, something like that, kind of some rotation like that. So it might've been the midnight showing on a Friday. And I was probably, half in the bag and fell asleep. There are a lot of movies like that in college that happened to. So, now I don't really drink like that anymore. So I was fully sober and realized like, wow, I don't remember anything after Shorten Round picking them up from the club. And, I didn't even remember the crate of chickens being blown up in the plane. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could not imagine it was because it was too obnoxious for you. If that was the case, you certainly grew out of it based on some of the movies I've seen you review on your website. Because there's some bad ones on there, and you made it all the way through and took the time to write about it. So there's that. Ryan Campbell, your first time with the Last Crusade.
It's hard to say. I'm sure it was on cable, like on USA.
USA loved them.
Yeah, and I guarantee you it was when I was a kid on USA, but it's hard to say exactly what age it was that I first saw it. But I would say it was older when like I grew a much bigger appreciation for it.
Yeah, this one, again, one of my all-time favorites, directed by Steven Spielberg. We start off, we're in Utah in 1912, and we get some young Indiana Jones action as he and his friend Herman spot 4 looters stealing the Cross of Coronado. And we get some, we establish so much of what Indy's all about in like this first 12 minutes, under 12 minutes, really. Indy's like, that cross belongs in a museum. I'm going to do something about it. He doesn't know what. He'll think of something. He has Herman go get the scoutmaster to get the sheriff. And then Indy, he nabs the cross from the nabbers and he takes off and he hits one of my favorite lines in this movie, and a line that I feel like I might say to myself quite a bit. Everybody's lost but me. I feel you, young Indiana Jones.
One thing I love about this scene, though, is you don't know that that's young Indiana Jones at first because it's just like some kids. And then there's like a 5-second shot. I love the way they do this. This is one thing this movie just does so well. It's all you watch this and they just do not make movies like this anymore. But you see the guy, looking for treasure with the jacket and the hat. So you're supposed to think, oh, there's Indiana Jones. Yay. Right. The camera deliberately, his head's tilted down so you can't see it. And then the camera pans down and that's not Indiana. And then we pan back to the kids and the friend calls him Indiana. And then as soon as we've established that, it pops up Utah 1912. Like it's just those 3 things are all done with such precision and so well. Of course, part of Steven Spielberg, and then the John Williams score that does just about as much editing in this movie as the actual editor. The music controls so many of the cuts and edits in this movie. It's just a wonderful first 12 minutes, Brent. Like you said, this does better than any like prequel movie could have done or something.
Yeah, I had just reviewed what was that movie that Toyman made me hip to, Agent Zeta, and that thing was like way over 2 hours, and I'm like, Then this one comes over just like 2 hours and a couple minutes, and those couple minutes are credits. And it's like, why did Zeta have to be longer than Indiana Jones? It didn't. It did not need to be, is the answer to that. It's like, why does everything have to be so damn long? Am I right, Matt? Why? Tell me why.
You're absolutely right. And I think,
tell me why.
So the thing is that when this movie came out in 1989, we were still kind of in that window where you had people like Spielberg and Lucas, and Zemeckis and Donner that were like, trying to make like magic on the screen, whether it was Jaws or Superman. I mean, it's the famous line, right? You'll believe a man can fly. Star Wars, all of those kinds of movies. And Indiana Jones really encapsulates those, but they had such a lackluster middle movie. I think this is maybe one. I mean, I can't think of how many part 3s were better than part 2s in a series of movies, and it's like they weren't trying to make it an event at that time. Again, it was more about wanting to have magic on the screen so that when we would go into the theater and watch it, we would leave saying like, wow, that I just, 2 hours of my life that was just so fun and exciting. And now it's all about this whole event concept where it's like the movie has to be 2.5, 3 hours long to make you feel like you were worth spending, $40 on popcorn and a ticket. And that wasn't the case back then. And I think it's, to Ryan's point, they don't make movies like this anymore.
It also just feels like it fell in like a perfect time. It's just, there's something about that time where a lot of the effects and the filmmaking skills that were going to define the blockbusters of the 90s, or Jurassic Parks or Terminators, like all that is kind of there. You can see it, but we also still kind of have that magic of like the late 70s, 80s movies with giant sets and a lot of extras on screen. And like everything feels like a big, like the practical sets and everything. So you kind of this like movie that fits right in the middle of kind of that golden age of cinema, almost like a Lawrence of Arabia type thing. But then also the stunt work and some of the effects that were going to be coming into the 90s. And it just fits right smack down in the middle of these two different eras. And it just kind of nails them both. It's so awesome.
It's like a bridge.
And because, what were you going to say, Breen?
I said it's like a bridge between the two eras. Go ahead, Toyman.
Well, I was going to say, like, just because of the time frame when everything wasn't so in your face, it was a throwback without being in your face that it was a throwback. Like, you can get lost in this movie, which is part of the magic. You're not like, oh, they're doing a throwback. Oh, they're doing this. Oh, they threw this thing in there, like the logo from the 70s or the 80s. Like, this actually could have passed as an adventure movie in the 60s or the 70s, no matter what. But two other things I was going to mention, just talking about all the different creators that our friend Matt had mentioned. We got Batman 1989, like a month right after this? Yep. So, I mean, that was just a hell of a way to kick off, blockbuster season. And then as far as talking about the prologue, we should mention that young Indiana Jones, played by River Phoenix, very famous young actor who died well before his time, unfortunately. But I believe he played Indiana Jones in the prologue at the request or the recommendation of Harrison Ford. I think he was actually called to do it by Harrison Ford himself.
Yeah, because was it Mosquito Coast, I think, that they had worked together?
That was the movie where he was his son. Yep.
So he knew of him, and River Phoenix nails the mannerisms of Harrison Ford perfectly in this sequence. Again, he hits the thing, everybody's lost but me. Doesn't quite get that horse right away, but the chase is on. They end up on the circus train, and there's all kinds of stuff going on there, including the Indy versus Roscoe fight on top of the Rhino car. Ryan Campbell, did you recognize Roscoe?
I did, but I don't know if I can tell you from what. It's just kind of one of those.
I'm sure Toyman could tell us. Toyman? No?
You're gonna throw it to me?
Bradley Gregg.
Yeah.
Bradley Gregg was from class of 1999.
That's right. Class of 99, and the Dream Warriors as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we covered that. But yeah, and I believe he was actually a good friend of River Phoenix, and that's how he may have got his spot there. But yeah, we get that. We get the how he's afraid, how Indy, because at first he's not afraid of the snake. There's a snake in the cave when him and Herman see the looters, and he's like, it's just a snake. And that's one thing when it's just one snake, Matt. But when you fall into a vat of snakes, that's going to change your perspective.
Oh, for sure. And this is another thing, another hallmark, it seems like, of Spielberg and Lucas, is they don't like animals. And so it's like, let's just get a bunch of real snakes and, we'll kind of mix it up between fake snakes and real ones that River Phoenix is in. Also, he doesn't like his crew either, because the poor crew had to find those snakes when they were like escaping everywhere. It's like, it's one of the things I think nowadays with computers, it is a little bit nicer that you can have fake snakes. And so then the crew doesn't have to chase them and real snakes don't have to get trampled on or anything. Right. But, it's like you said, this is River Phoenix is getting his, right, Indiana Jones is getting his fear of snakes here. And I would imagine, I don't know that I would ever stop feeling snakes on me if I fell in a bed of snakes like that.
Yeah, anytime you felt anything, you would assume it was a snake.
Yeah.
We also get the origin of the bullwhip. We get the scar origin, which is ironic because the scar came from the first movie when Harrison Ford ended up giving himself the scar with the freaking bullwhip. And then, yes, Indy's future style, obviously influenced by Richard Young, who played the character that's named Fedora. I don't know that's his actual name, but that's how he's credited, as Fedora. Ryan Campbell, I know you're going to have an answer to this question. Has there ever been a person out there who influenced your style, fashion-wise?
Multiple different times. We've talked multiple times about how Red Dead Redemption had me in like a Wild West phase for a bit. And then I guess just all the emo bands I listened to in high school pretty much had me in my Thursday hoodie with Banes every day of high school. That was me.
Yeah. There you go. Matt, how about you? Did anyone ever influence your fashion style?
Yes, I don't know if it's necessarily fashion style, but definitely in the early 90s, the Fab Five freshmen from Michigan, I was wearing the baggy shorts when I played basketball for sure. When we were playing like courts, in good old Kittery, Maine, in the summer, playing pickup basketball, I made sure the shorts came down below my knee for sure. So yeah.
Nobody wants to see your knees. Toyman, I'm sure you also have an answer. I probably know at least one of the answers, but
Moby?
No, not Moby, but Ryan Campbell. I mean, shout out to the emo t-shirts. I still have a Matchbook Romance t-shirt from
that's a good pull.
2004.
Nice.
No, obviously my preppy style was not only inspired by my fictional hero, Zach Morris, but I took a lot of style from my older cousin. I've mentioned the many movies that I watched with him. I took a lot from him. He was my real life hero. And so that's why I still pretty much dress like I did in the 90s and the early 2000s, because that's just always been my style. Whether it's, preppy one day and then a basketball jersey and some Adidas track pants the next day. I've got a variety of influences, but those are the two main ones.
What a fashion plate. I will tell you mine. There's one that's a slight, and it kind of leads into it. But like Bobby Heenan and Mr. Perfect, they had, when they were on the prime time, when it was like the panel around the table show, they'd wear these like real bright, flowery looking ties. So when I would need a tie, I would get one of those. But that all led into, and this is the one and only Sergeant Chris Lorenzo from Silk Stockings, because at the time I had an office job where you actually had to dress up to go to the office.
So you might as well look like you work in like a semi-futuristic sex crimes division.
I had a freaking purple suit. I know I had a purple suit. I had like emerald green pants and, like a magenta. I had, it was the 90s. It was a very colorful time, and I was all in on it because I wanted to be like the great Sergeant Chris Lorenzo. Thank you.
Do you still have the purple suit?
No, I think I've parted with it some time ago. But yeah, I had it.
Didn't you wear the purple? Was that the same purple suit you wore when we did the TV taping downtown?
No, that was long. Okay. I had a purple shirt for that, but no, I just had a regular suit for that.
Because I had a purple shirt.
That Bobby Heenan and Mr. Perfect are your inspiration. I can picture you grocery shopping with a sequin jacket and a towel around your neck.
Oh, wouldn't that have been nice? Wouldn't that have been nice?
Yelling about the ham and eggers, yeah.
while buying ham and eggs. That's really next level shit right there. So Indy does eventually get off this train. He goes into the magic car, and magic happens. And next thing you know, he's running home, and we get our first tease of Professor Henry Jones. We hear him, but we don't see him. And then the sheriff shows up. Herman brings the sheriff, just like Indy asked, and the sheriff takes the cross and gives it to Panama Hat, and who is the guy who hired Fedora and his boys. And this is where, speaking of Fedora, Indy loses the cross, Toyman, but he gains a hat.
He does. It is passed on to him because the man that we originally thought was Indiana Jones basically like shows him respect. He's like, you're a scrapper, kid. Like,
right.
You've got this. And
you lost today, but you don't have to like it.
And you mentioned Bradley Gregg being in Dream Warriors. Did you recognize Richard Young from Friday the 13th, Part 5?
I sure did. He's like the one who runs the home for the kids.
Yep.
I remember not realizing, and then like it was one of those late night. It probably was a Friday the 13th, and I turned on Pluto, and I'm like, holy shit, that's a freaking fake Indiana Jones.
It's Fedora.
Yep.
I was going to say Saigon Commandos is where I recognized him from. So I guess that,
of course.
Yes. Going back to those movies. Yeah, I was going to say, going back.
Video Connoisseur, ladies and gentlemen. He knows all these people. Yes, Saigon. I don't know if I've seen that one.
So the reason I saw that one is there's an actor named Donald Wilson who was going by the name Don Wilson at the time. I thought it was like an early Don the Dragon Wilson movie.
Right.
Because at one point, Don Wilson and Don the Dragon Wilson's IMDb's were merged. And so it caused a whole bunch of controversy in the movie blogging world. I know Will at Exploding Helicopter, he had to change his order of who was in the most exploding helicopter movies, because that movie does have an exploding helicopter. Okay. But it's finally been sorted out now. But that's why I watched that movie, because I was like, oh, this is an early Don the Dragon Wilson. I spent the entire movie trying to find where he was, and of course he wasn't in the movie at all.
I think I remember seeing that on his, and it was because it was odd, because it was so early. It was like, why did he do that and then nothing?
Right.
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah,
he was also in another great movie. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It doesn't really get talked about.
He was in
a lot,
one great. Who? Don the Dragon Wilson or Richard Young?
No. Richard Young was in a movie with Tom Selleck, where Tom Selleck gets framed by dirty cops called an Innocent Man.
Oh yes.
And Richard Young played one of the dirty detectives that sets Tom Selleck's character up.
And now tell us how the entire state of Rhode Island shut down when Magnum P.I. came out.
Look, I love Magnum P.I. Magnum P.I. did not reach Dallas and Dynasty levels in the DePetrillo family. Magnum P.I. was not required viewing.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He was supposed to be Indiana Jones, wasn't he?
He was. It's all coming to... Man, this is a quality freaking podcast. It took us 201 episodes, but we fucking figured this shit out.
IMDb should sponsor our podcast.
Oh, they goddamn well should. All right. Well, anyway, let's talk about this transition. He puts the fedora.
According to Brain, it would be the Internet Movie Data Bastards.
Right. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Toyman's brought his A game. See, I'm gonna need to have a special guest.
He's got to make sure you don't lay him off, so I can catch up to him in the appearances.
Catches up, or I'll just replace him with Matt. It's like, Matt loves it. He'll talk for fucking 3 hours about detention. He could easily give us an hour here and there.
Then Matt will be too busy with this podcast, so I'll fill in on the DTV podcast, and I'll start by doing Blood Fist 1 through 8.
Oh my word! Yeah, well, that'll be fun. I apologize to your show. We get a fedora to fedora transition. Beautifully done.
Not just that, but they uniquely make him like bleeding from the exact same spot, which is a nice little bit. It's like the same where he has the scar as a kid. He's now from being punched in the face, but it's like the exact same blood spot, which is kind of cool.
And he's right there again, going after that cross of Coronado, and there's Panama Hat and everything, but he gets out of there. Boat blows up, and next thing you know, we see.
Oh, you're skipping over one of your favorite lines, Brain.
What's that?
When he says, "This belongs in a museum," and Panama Hat says,
"So do you." Just like that too. There's another dramatic recreation. Next thing we do, we see a very rare Indy actually doing his job. He's at school, and he tells the kids this line, X never, ever marks the spot.
I think he technically
Words to
says,
live by.
doesn't he say like almost never or something?
No,
No.
I think he says never, ever. I think so. Let's
He
go.
also tells him
let's
that
pause
80,
this and go
80%,
rewatch it.
yeah, 80% of the work happens in the library, and
Yep.
it's
Mhm.
hardly, you're not looking for, if you're looking for truth, go down the hall of the philosophy.
Right.
And he's literally just saying all the things that are not going to happen throughout this movie.
It's perfect. Marcus Brody shows up, the great Denholm Elliott, and he's there after class is dismissed, and he sees the cross. He's very happy. They'll put it in the museum. When Indy gets to his office, it is a zoo. There's kids just all around because this man has probably been over in Portugal looking for things instead of doing his, like, what do you think there's a fill-in? Does he have like a teacher's aide? What do you think, Matt? Does he have a teacher's aide? Were you his teacher's aide? Could you be his teacher's aide?
I could have been, well, yeah, I would have been older, but my undergrad degree was in anthropology, and I was
Oh,
a teacher's aide for archaeology 101.
See?
So yeah, but the thing is that the way it would work is that he would have gone on sabbatical, and so he would teach his class. But see, I don't know how that would work in his case, because it's like he would teach his class for the semester and then go on sabbatical for the next semester. But it sounds like he just kind of comes and goes. So yeah, I don't know if you have a fill. I mean, maybe you would have the teacher's assistant. I remember one of the professors I was a TA for, she wouldn't proctor the exams. And I remember the chair of the department found me and another TA proctoring the exam. He's like, well, where's, Professor so-and-so? And we're like, well, she doesn't come to me. He's like, what? This is, and he's like, listen, if you ever need a referral, whatever, just let me know. But he was like completely shocked. So sounds like Denholm Elliott at least knows that Indy's not going to be around for these things, and maybe he does have a TA. And but I can imagine that young women are not fans of the TA. They want Indy to be there.
Want Indy,
yeah. He must have tenure where he can just kind of do whatever he wants, I guess.
And he's got an in with. I mean, obviously Brody's a friend of the family, so he's a kind of a on the side nepo baby, maybe. I don't know. I want to say that about Indy because he's very good. But yeah, he goes to the office. There's a bunch of kids there. He tells his secretary, make a list. I'll see them all in turn. She's like, your mail's on your desk. He goes in. There's a package from Venice. And he's like, oh, what the hell is this? Puts it in his jacket. And he's like, looks to the window and he sees all that chaos. And he's like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Kids smashing their faces up against the window. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to just open out this window here and just sneak out. But there's guys watching him. And they approach him. And it's like, oh, shit. He's already in some trouble. But the next thing you know, Ryan Campbell, he is in a swanky penthouse of one Walter Donovan.
That's right. And then whenever there's a ancient relic on the hunt, there's some financier that is flipping the bill for all this. And he's going to try to sweet talk old Indy into getting onto the job.
Yeah, apparently his team was excavating for, I think it was copper, and they found
bullshit.
That you think that was all a lie?
I think it's all a lie.
I think we'll figure that out as time goes. But yeah, we found this tablet during a recent excavation, and the tablet speaks of a location of the Holy Grail, something your father was quite interested in. And we get some of that Grail lore. So this is really well done. Movies today would make this last about 45 minutes. They get it done real quick, Ryan.
Absolutely. And it's just what you can do when you trust your audience and make sure that you carefully place everything they need to know on the screen. And you don't have to, have somebody turn to the camera and just exposit dump and it take 20 minutes to get, where we need to be.
Yeah, so we heard about it all. We hear about the 3 knights that the Grail was entrusted to and how one of them got to a Franciscan friar who told the story. And they're like, yes, here's that story from the friar. I've got that too. I mean,
we also subtly, you don't even think about it at the time, but when he runs in to give his dad the cross and we just see a shot of his dad like tracing the stained glass window. So it's like that little bit of it took a second and a half of screen time, and we established he's writing into the journal. He's obsessed with the Grail, like that's all getting added in visually. Show me, don't tell me, and it barely took any screen time.
And then they talk about there's 2 markers, and the other one is believed to be buried with the knight in Venice. And so they're very close. And Indy's like, well, usually when you're close, that's when the ground falls out underneath you. And there's like, you may be more right than you know, because our project leader has gone missing. His research has gone missing with him. And Indy says, well, you got the wrong Jones. And he's like, no, the missing project leader is your father, Toyman. What a reveal. But you would think maybe he may have wanted to start with that.
But, that's, not to bury the lead, but we know that something's up with this Donovan character. So it's almost kind of like that slimy way of luring someone into the job that they don't really want to do. It's like, oh, here's this XYZ. No, I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
Well, your girlfriend's going to be there. Your father's missing. Your son said that you could do this for him. It's like, so it's almost like emotional blackmail in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you didn't want to do this, but by the way, your dad's the one who's missing. Dun, dun, dun.
Right. It's that first little bit of like, this guy's kind of a shady fuck. But you don't know it full on. You don't know how, again, he could just be greedy.
It doesn't help that in the previous two movies, this character is always screwed over Indy. So,
right. And he wasn't he in Empire Strikes Back? This man, wasn't he the
General Veers?
One of the AT-AT? Isn't he in the AT-AT? Anyway, yeah, we get that. So now Indy tells Marcus what's going on. They go to Henry's house. It's been tossed. It's been ransacked. The mail has even been opened. And the mail. I have a package. And that package was the diary, the Grail diary, the holy grail of diaries. Would you say, Matt?
Yes, it's the holy grail of diaries. Exactly. Yeah. And I guess it shows you too, like how cool Indiana Jones is, that he gets packages and doesn't open them right away. Because most people, it's like, oh, I got a package. Like, what's this? This is great. I got to see what's in here.
Yeah. He's always just getting shit from Venice,
Right, exactly. So he's just like, man, I'll open this later. I'm that cool,
I would, you're right. If I got a package, even if I know what it is, I still want to open it to make sure it's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Man, I've got some figures coming. My dog bought them for me, and I'm looking forward to them arriving. Maybe they'll be here by the time this drops. We'll find out. Indy's like, Marcus, call Donovan, tell him I'll take that ticket to Venice. Marcus, I'll tell him we'll take 2. That's right, Ryan Campbell. Marcus Brody's going on this adventure.
Oh, that's one of my favorite things about this one is it's not just Indy, the lovable gang of hapless losers he's got to carry around with him throughout the entire thing.
Oh, Marcus Brody. He is the Lord Alfred Hayes of the Indiana Jones franchise, and that alone endears him to me. Donovan sees them off at the airport, and Toyman, he's got some stone cold advice for them. Are you there?
He
Toyman?
does, but I cannot remember the exact quote.
Well, if you know Stone Cold,
so
it don't trust anybody.
Well, I thought you wanted me to get into the actual script of it. I mean, I could
DTA.
Don't
DTA.
Yeah, DTA. Don't trust anybody. I thought you wanted me to recite the film word for word. I'm sorry.
He says, "Don't trust anybody." That is the fucking movie word for word. I teed it up for you. You goddamn.
I'm catching him.
bastard.
I'm catching him in appearances soon. I can tell.
Oh my gosh! And honestly, though, if we're being honest about Stone Cold, he would say sometimes, "DTA, don't never trust nobody." He would add to it. He's Stone Cold. Who's gonna fuck with him? I'm not.
Stone Cold, as we speak, is in Fortnite brain. Is that going to get you onto the old Fortnite machine?
No. It will not, but I'm happy for him because that's just probably more money in his pocket. And Lord knows I gave him plenty over the years, and he deserves it. Greatest to ever do it, as far as I'm concerned.
Did he crash his ATV into any of the houses that people built or whatever goes on in Fortnite? Like WrestleMania?
That could happen.
I know, his pickaxe is I think like a beer cans or something. I think I don't see all of it, but
is Lyle playing as Stone Cold?
He ain't been on the Fortnite thing in a few years.
It must be.
He's beyond that now.
Yeah. Okay. My apologies.
He plays a bunch of weird indie shit that nobody else plays. So
well, is he dressing like any of the characters in the things?
No, he just wears my t-shirts half the time. I don't even think you changed clothes if I didn't make them.
Oh my word. Oh, Lyle Campbell, one of my greatest enemies on this planet. Just, I don't know. It just, I don't know. One day maybe we'll come back on common ground, but not now. But they arrive in Venice, and it is Venice. They're looking for Dr. Schneider, and perhaps a bit sexist, Matt. They're assuming it's going to be a man, but it isn't.
No, and not only is it not, another great touch in this movie, she looks like she'd be a guest star on Hogan's Heroes. And we probably find out like years later that Bob Crane hooked up with her or something, but it's
and maybe did a Super 8 of it as well, but go on.
Exactly with Carpy. But yeah, it's like just that another one of these touches in this movie that just makes it so great is that they, Lucas and Spielberg, when they were casting this part, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but it's just like the look of it with the film stock they use, the 35 millimeter, the way they kind of made it look like it was made in the 60s, and then to have her come in, it's just perfect. You could just see her like sitting on a couch with Bob Crane and like the other characters are like plotting something to like gain information or something. Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Toyman, are you going to take the challenges? Because Matt just threw the gauntlet down of dated TV reference. So are you cooking one up in your head right now?
I mean, I appreciate the Hogan's Heroes reference because we're big Richard Dawson fans in this house because of Match Game. But no, I was going to throw out the fact that this is Alison Dootie's second appearance on the podcast in 2026 because she made her film debut in A View to a Kill.
Oh, yeah.
She did. And she's got a really great name, doesn't she?
Yes.
Duty.
She does.
Not like the short version of Dudikoff. This is a different. It's just Duty.
This is like actual.
We could have
actual Duty.
We could
imagine like
she's hot with a name like that.
Yeah, imagine like not electing for some sort of Hollywood name like so many people do, and be like, no, I will make the Duty name proud.
We could have. Hear me out. Completely different Duty Palooza. That is a kind of Matt is back for another edition of Duty Palooza.
Right. Yes.
If it's got Duty in it, we call
Matt. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
When you think of Duty, you think of Matt.
The D&D TV now stands for Duty, folks.
Duty.
That's right.
Yeah. Duty Video Connoisseur. I don't know what that. Yeah. Duty.
Never trust nobody. Video Connoisseur.
Right.
Nobody ever.
So there you go. But in Indy, of course, she's a lovely lady, and Indy is a red-blooded male, and he's like, "Hey, here's a flower for you, Fraulein." And they have their little back and forth before she's like, Mark is like, "Hey, we're here for a reason, people." So she takes them to Henry's last known whereabouts, which is a church that was turned into a library. And that's where Henry was doing research because he believes the tomb of Sir Richard was somewhere on the library grounds. And this is where we see, Ryan, you mentioned the stained glass window. We see it, not just a drawing. We see the window itself, and there are Roman numerals on it. And then they start looking for the X. And what a reveal this is. I love this scene right here. Ryan Campbell. X did mark the spot.
It did. It didn't take long for his words to come back and haunt him as he had to climb the spiral staircase and giant ass X right in the middle of the floor. It kind of felt like an Uncharted. If any Uncharted fans out there, I'm sure obviously it pulls heavily from Indiana Jones, but it felt very much like one of those where you got to look around and see the art. They find like the different markings and clues. But yep, X does mark the spot. And unfortunately, Brain, you got to be quiet in a library.
Right.
So you can't just be busting up, but we get a funny little gag here that felt very Lucas-esque in a way of the librarian stamping the books. And
the timing was uncannily
the timing
perfect.
Was dong. And I like to think that he was within view and Indy's doing that on purpose. I like to think.
Indy's smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
He is. And so he like cracks a corner of this tile floor, picks it up. They go down into the catacombs. But beforehand, he gives Marcus the Grail diary, which is good because they're about to get wet, and that diary would not have survived. Elsa comes back, so she did see that he has the diary. She went to talk to the librarian, like, we're going to need you to stay open, even though we're going to be underneath the library.
She made arrangements.
She made arrangements, indeed. So he lowers Indy. Indy lowers Elsa down. He follows. Marcus is just watching. He gets knocked out by these mysterious men in suits that we will find out who they are momentarily.
Fedoras is more their notable.
Or no, they had like fezzes on.
That's what I meant. Fezzes, yeah.
Right. And so they get down to these catacombs. There's bones. And then there's the beautiful Ark of the Covenant drawing and the little music. The music cue goes back to the Raiders music. Mac, we saw this. I know you've been watching all of these. We get we get the actual Ark of the Covenant in Crystal Skull.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, I've seen up through Crystal Skull. I mean, I'd seen Crystal Skulls before. So again, it was just Temple of Doom. I still haven't seen Dial of Destiny yet, so I'll be watching that one at some point. But yeah, you get that one moment while there's like gunpowder that's floating around because it's supposed to be magnetized, and then I guess when there's like the escape, they hit one of the boxes and we see a little Ark of the Covenant there.
Yeah, so they kind of go back to that again. I like that. And we don't have bugs like we had in Temple of Doom. We don't have snakes. We got rats.
What a terrible few days of shooting this whole sequence would have been. You're like in a tight space and like that water had to have just been gross. And you've got 300 live rats on set just running around.
Yeah.
That'd been a rough one.
Yeah. And yeah, there's petroleum in this water. And then the mysterious men in suits, we see that they're following behind. So Indy and Elsa do get to Sir Richard's final resting place. The shield was a second marker. So he brings out the little paper gimmick and he starts getting the rest of that thing. And then the suit guys drop the lighter and it's burn, baby, burn. And again, now they're like underneath this is horrible, and those rats are coming through
gnawing through. It's kind of like the old, like they're trying to find a spot,
right? The rats are leaving the ship. It was horrible. If you're not a rat fan, and I'm not talking about the band, but Matt, please tell us your favorite rat song.
Yeah, I guess Round and Round. I know it's like kind of probably,
It's all right. It's okay. You don't have to go for a deep cut. You're not trying to impress any metal heads out there.
Well, the Milton Berle, I think, in the video also helps.
Uncle Milty.
Solid reference, Matt. Much
Uncle Milty. We've gone even further back now, like the beginning of television. So, Toyman, you're going to have to go to like a vaudeville reference to outdo Matt.
Ted Healy and the Stooges before the Three Stooges broke off on their own.
There you go.
Maybe he knows like some medieval like jester that was famous for.
I'm sure he does. He's the jester on this show. All right, listen now. So they end up getting out of there. Indy finds a way out. They come up through the sewer in the middle of an outdoor cafe, just a few feet away from the church entrance. And again, Indy hits it. Venice. Because even when you're coming out of the sewer, it's just a magnificent city to see. The mysterious men in suits spot them, and boy, oh boy, Ryan Campbell. Here's one of my freaking favorite sequences in the whole goddamn movie.
And I know we talked earlier about how great the score is from John Williams, but this is also one of my favorite. Like, go back and listening to the soundtrack is the boat chase music. It's fantastic.
Escape from Venice. It was the number one song when we did Indiana Jones soundtracks, a feature that just nobody gave two shits about, so we stopped doing them. But I loved it, and I was so happy. Escape from Venice will pop up on my YouTube all the time, and I'm like, playing the little mandolin. I'm air mandolining. How about that, Toyman? I'm doing an air mandolin. Yeah. What are you doing?
Were you wearing your sequin jacket with your towel around your neck while you were doing it?
No, sir. I don't. Bobby Heenan never had a mandolin. No, it doesn't matter.
But like going back to what we were talking about earlier, like this felt very kind of like 70s Bond scene, like a boat chase through Venice. And then when we get
through the boat and everything.
Yeah. And then later when we get to like the motorcycle chase, that feels very much more like modern 90s action with like bikes flipping and everything. So like, again, it just, this movie bridges the gap.
Best of all worlds.
Yes, exactly.
So after this amazing boat chase and Indy getting into it with the head mystery man, Chasm, we find out that Chasm represents the Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword. Guardians.
I thought it was the Shriners with those heads.
What are they called in in the Mummy? Because that's kind of like the same group.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
literally
What
the
are they
same
called?
symbol.
Matt knows. Matt, what are they called in the Mummy?
What, the mummy? What? Is that the mummy or the?
The fez wearing guys that are like keeping that are like religious.
What
they had the same symbol, like that cross.
They had a name, right? They were like the keepers of the chalice or something, but they had like a name. Yeah.
Well, somebody in the YouTube comments put it down there, because we don't know what we're talking
And
about.
specify we don't mean the new Mummy that looks absolutely terrible. We're talking vintage Mummy here.
Well, not vintage Mummy.
Well, not vintage.
We're
not
talking
Universal
about
Monsters Mummy.
right. We're talking about.
I guess they're just the Magi, Medjay, the Magi.
Oh, there you go.
Not Magi like a magic, but like a Magi.
Yeah. Not the gift of the Magi.
Yeah, right.
Which was recreated.
Devoted to keeping Imhotep sealed.
Was recreated for the Sesame Street Christmas. Does everybody remember that? Where they did their take on the gift of the Magi? Yeah. Toyman? Matt?
I'm sorry, I blocked that one out.
So we saw it recently. I think HBO had it, and my wife and I watched it relatively recently. I think it was
probably during the holiday season.
Yeah, it was a few years ago, but holiday season. I think it was because that's the one, right, where somebody was it Oscar the Grouch tells Big Bird that there's no Santa or something?
Oh, geez, you can't say something like that on this program.
No, Oscar the Grouch said it. He's a heel.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it. No, I'm saying Oscar the Grouch.
Oh,
yeah. Didn't he? Wasn't he trying to upset Big Bird?
I don't remember. I just know Bert bought Ernie something, and Ernie bought Bert something.
Did Grouch at the end? Did he say at the end, "Believe in magic or I'll kill you"?
No, but he should have, because that's the way to end any movie, really.
So Mr. Hooper was selling Bert and Ernie gifts for each other. That's right. Yeah,
but they had to sell something that. So the thing that the gift
was like the O. Henry thing.
Yeah. Oh, Henry, indeed. Yeah. Henry Jones Jr. All right, that's what we're talking about, folks.
That brings us back around.
I'm back. So he's like, I'm not searching. I don't want the Grail. I want my father. Oh, well, in that case, he's being held at a castle on the Austrian-German border. All right. So Indy gets back. He fills in Marcus about what's been going on. And he's like, the map with no names. And they figure out, okay, now we know where to start. Here, Marcus, you go find Sallah. I'm going to go get my dad. But first, I'm going to go fuck Elsa.
That would be the top of my list too, Brain. I got to say.
Because he's in Venice.
And even if her accent would probably lead me to believe that she's a Nazi, it's all right.
Right. So
sometimes you got to fight the battles against the Nazis one at a time,
Yeah. Just pound those villains.
That's right.
Into dust.
That was how Hogan did it. That was how Bob Crane did it, right?
There you go. Back to Hogan's Heroes. Thank you, Matt, for keeping us on the Me TV audience. We got to keep those people tuning in.
The algorithm's got to catch them,
Is that thing still that's been on Me TV for like a long that 10 o'clock?
I think it's like 10:30 at night or something.
Yeah,
like that
10 o'clock hour. That thing's been on for as long as Me TV has existed, I tell you.
They got a death grip on that time slot.
So it must do well. It just must do very well. So they go to the castle where Indy pretends to be a Scottish lord to look at the tapestries.
Like that's like a normal thing. Like Scottish lords just barge into to castles to inspect the tapestries.
I mean, this was 90 years ago, in movie time. So maybe that's what they did back then. That's how they passed.
They didn't have Hogan's Heroes to watch at 10:30.
They didn't even have the inspiration for Hogan's Heroes really yet. I mean, we're still, a couple of years away from the real bad stuff.
It's 10:30. It's time for me to look at my tapestries.
Right. So they did that. But the butler is like, no. And that butler is somebody. I don't remember who now. I've seen him in something, but I didn't look him up.
Vernon Dobchief.
Yeah, he's in something else. What's he in? Is he like in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or something?
Spy
ridiculous?
Who Loved Me, Fiddler on the Roof.
That's true.
That must be it, Brain.
Yeah. If I were a rich man, I wouldn't be doing this podcast. I can tell you that right now.
hold on, let me go back a little bit. It's still, he did a lot of work in the 2000s still.
Yeah, I feel like I saw him in something. I'm like, isn't that the butler
Man,
from?
this dude's working his ass off.
I know him from Undisputed 3 Redemption, apparently. He was in that movie, so.
Maybe that's what I saw him in. I'm like, is that the freaking butler?
Right.
Butler from Undisputed 3
in that movie.
Yeah.
World's most dangerous butler's brain. You got to do it.
Oh, he was in The Order. Was Van Damme. Maybe I did cover that not too long ago. Well, it doesn't matter. The butler, he didn't do it. He gets done. He's done with. He's out. And then
ironically, he was in The Plot to Kill Hitler in 1990. This time he's
yeah.
serving the Nazis.
Yeah. Well, he gets knocked out. And speaking of the Nazis, Indy starts snooping around and he's like, oh, there's Nazis in this place. Ugh, hate those guys.
Goddamn Nazis.
Then he's snooping around more and he's like, oh, he sees a door. He's like, oh, it's wired. So he's like, that has to be where my dad is. So I'm going to go to the room next door, go out the window, swing across to the other thing, and swing across the window. This is like they're just making this for a fucking video game, Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, and again, all very Uncharted would do something like this. You were always having to like climb out a window, and like the ledges would be a different color, so you knew which ledges you had to climb to get back to the other window. So yeah, very much like that. But I do like how Indiana is just trying to like show off to Elsa. He's like, this is nothing,
Right.
This is like a Tuesday for me.
Child's play, yeah. I think I remember that because you have to do that. Probably even the Super Nintendo, the SNES one. I remember playing that indie game on there and swinging out of windows. He gets into the window. Henry is there as he believed, and Henry nails Indy with a vase, thinking it was a Nazi. Which Indy then's like, they do come. They
use doors, right?
They wouldn't have to come through the window, but better to be safe than sorry. So quite the reunion between father and son.
And we really a nice, clever again little bit of story here is he's more concerned that he thinks he broke a like Han Dynasty, or Ming Dynasty vase than his son, which is establishing the kind of rift that's formed between them in a way.
Yeah, his work was always more important than his son. Yeah. He could
kind of getting a comedic moment, but also adding story and dynamic between the characters, all with one little, bit.
And here's an interesting little thing. We're going to have a little intermission now because Matt has rewritten the words to Father of Mine to match the story of Indiana Jones and his father. Hit it.
I have. I didn't know that.
Okay, we'll put that in post. We'll get you.
Mine. Yeah.
We'll get that in. Edit. Let me put this little timestamp. We'll put that song in.
It'll probably get copyright claimed anyway, Brandon.
Oh, you're right. We better.
YouTube. Yes.
Yeah, never
People
mind.
care enough about Everclear to actually copyright claim it.
So sorry, everyone.
Well, it's whoever owns the song.
Listen,
it's whoever.
Everclear is still touring. And if you listen to the detention episode of the Direct-to-Video Connoisseur podcast, you will get the Everclear dates that are coming up in June. So you got time to make travel plans if it's not in your area. And I don't believe that they were anywhere near any of us, but that's fine. So the Nazis come in and they're like, we would like the book, please. And Henry's like, you dolts. We don't have the book. You think my son would bring that book back here? And it's like, yeah.
He's stupid enough to bring it back into the lion's den?
Right. I should have sent it to the Marx Brothers. All right. See? He has an older reference. Good for you, Henry. Good job. The Marx
Jones
Brothers
was a fan of Duck Soup.
Yeah.
Which is funny because like Indiana is always usually kind of like not always super smooth. He kind of bumbles his way through stuff.
Yeah.
But he's been oddly like on his game in this movie so far. He's nailed just about everything he's tried to do. He's showing off to Elsa. Yeah, he's showing off. He's talking about how smooth he is. And then the minute he gets in the room with his dad, he kind of goes back to being like the bumbling idiot. His dad just instantly like chops him down to size because he brought the book. And it's just kind of, they've been building him up and now they're kind of chopping him back down. It's nice.
Yeah. And that little conflict though gives Indy an opening. He just straight up shoots Nazis in front of his dad, and his dad obviously is a little taken aback, like my son just murdered 3 men.
They're Nazis. Come on, right. Henry.
So they're about to make their escape, and then they run into Vogel, who is like the head Nazi, and he's got Elsa with a gun to her head. And Henry's like, "Oh, don't worry, he's not going to shoot her. She's a Nazi." But Indy's not listening to his dad, and I'm like, he's clearly saying this woman is a not. Like, why would he just pull that out of his ass, Indy?
Yeah, Indy's letting his other regions do the talking here. He's like, man, that was a good piece. I don't just want to let that go.
Right. And it is in fact,
or he's thinking I can fix her. Maybe he's thinking that too.
Father does in fact know best. There's a nice old school TV reference. Father knows best, folks.
Who's got the poster up?
Toyman does. And Indy's like, well, wait a minute. How the hell did you know that? She talks in her sleep. What? Father and son, they're now Eskimo brothers.
She found both of their Sir Richards.
Oh.
Now, didn't he ad-lib that line and they had to retake it because everybody started cracking up? They didn't expect it.
I believe I've read that.
That's good. That's a good little bit there.
Excellent.
I know that. Thank you for bringing that, Matt. That's good.
IMDb trivia.
That's value.
That's value added. But there's one more surprise because there's somebody just for no apparent reason sitting with their back to everyone as this is going on. And it's that goddamn Walter Donovan. He's in cahoots with these Nazis.
Saw that one coming.
And old Toyman, nothing gets by you, sir. Especially on a rewatch. I mean, some people though do rewatches and they're still surprised by things. I've seen this a lot, perhaps on Facebook, maybe not, but people rewatch things and are shocked that they still like the movie, that the things that were surprises somehow are still surprising them. I don't know how this is done, but bless your heart, as they say down south.
I don't do that with movies, but I definitely do it with sporting events. Like if I go back and watch like a game 7 and I'll get like tense again. I'm like, I know what happens, but I feel like did I fever dream it? And they're actually going to lose.
Well, maybe.
No, I'm the same way, Ryan. When we look at like old NBA games or NHL games, like Zach's a huge basketball fan, so we'll go back and watch like, the Bulls versus the Supersonics from '96 or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, come on, they're going to pull this out. And I'm like, wait, this game was 30 years ago.
30 years ago? They call us the old people. We were running the world back then. Oh, that's a different movie. Another third movie that may be better than the second. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I will be watching that movie as this drops sometime in that period of time. All right. So yeah, we find out that there's pages missing. Well, it's obvious that he gave these to Marcus Brody, and this is where Ryan Campbell gets real pissed at this movie.
Brandon, I enjoy the digital revolution. I like having all my video games on my PlayStation or my computer. I don't have to be like swapping discs.
Right.
I have a kind of a small little apartment and I've got so many little models and figures everywhere. I don't really have a place to just put like a shit ton of DVDs.
Right.
So like I'm kind of on the digital thing, I like having all the streaming services and everything just kind of being there. The last few years though, the chips have been kind of cracking. I don't like how they leave services every month and I never know where things are going to be. Now it's getting really bad with the ads. If you've been following some of my TV reviews or my movie reviews, now they put ads in like old movies and it's like, oh, this is annoying. But I reached my breaking point tonight, Brain.
I know you
watching the film and one of the most classic snap cuts in film history. Indy delivers the line. Brody speaks 6 languages. He can slip in. By any luck, he's found the Grail already. Fucking ad. Disney Plus cuts to like 2.5 or like 1 minute and 45 seconds of ads right as that scene cuts before we get to Brody meandering his way through the train station. Again, one of the greatest snap cuts in movie history. They put a fucking ad in between it. I'm done.
Oh,
physical media forever.
Oh, there you go.
I am officially.
He's converted.
It's my villain arc. I'm done with this shit.
But at least you were warned about depictions of tobacco in the film, right?
Right, because he's so susceptible. He's already told you he dressed like a cowboy because he played a fucking video game. He sees that. If he wasn't warned, he'd be spitting tobacco right now in between everything. Be like, you'd hear it like plinking in the little cup. It'd be disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marcus Brody, and again, this is really where he's like Lord Alfred to me. He's just wandering around. Sallah finds him though. But then, unfortunately, so did some people like, we are here to take you to the Museum of Antiquities. And so I was like, there is no museum. Run. What? Run.
Oh,
what?
here's my newspaper.
Run. What? And then they do a kind of a take on, they did, and Matt, you've just seen the original, but of just a scant few days ago, the whole truck gag where they put him in the back. Yeah. You think it's like he's going to a building, but it's a truck. But this time, it doesn't work out for our hero.
No, it's great because of the actors that you have playing these parts now. You know that you've got, Denholm Elliott, you've got John Rhys Davies, you've got, on the other side, you've got Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. And I think that's one of the things that makes all this stuff work so well. It's like you can call back to an old gag when you've got people that are pulling it off so well. And so it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah. Remind me of that really good movie that you made before the one that wasn't so good. You know, I'm happy to have you remind me of that. And like, with those actors, they pulled it off.
And then we go back to the castle. Elsa is informed she is needed back in Berlin. And this comes from the highest levels. They need her back. So she says goodbye to Indy. And at this point, Indy and his father are both on chairs, back to back, tied up. So she lays one on Indy. She's like, that's how we say goodbye in Austria. And then Vogel comes in right after, punches Indy, whose head knocks into his dad's head. That's how we say, that's the German way. Yeah. That Vogel, he's a son of a bitch, isn't he?
He is.
So now these guys, they got to get out of it. We're in a classic Indiana Jones predicament now. They got to get out of this Toyman. What could they use to get out? Reach into my pocket, Dad. Take it away, Toyman.
Yeah, so Indy's got the lighter that he's like, hey, we could burn through the ropes, and instead they become involuntary arsonists because now the entire room is on fire, and they've pretty much set themselves up to be roasted. And I don't mean by the way that you like to do to me on the podcast.
Okay, thank you. Very good. You bald bastard. Listen now. So they go to the fireplace, and while they're in there trying to wriggle around and they hit the little gimmick, and then the thing spins, and Ryan Campbell, there's a freaking Nazi control room.
Again, there's so many things in this movie, and it's one of those deals where like there are gags that you've seen in modern stuff, and I know I'd mentioned that I'd seen it when I was younger, but sometimes you go back and you realize just how many tropes and like gags can source back to this movie. And you get like the spinning false wall, between them and the fire on one side and Nazis on the other. And again, just one awesome set piece gag after another in this film.
Yeah, and like the first time they turn, nobody notices. They're all so busy doing their Nazi shit.
Yeah,
but the second time when that lady turns and she just has that Frau Farbissina type scream, it's just we got that. But they do manage to get out of that situation. Outside, however, Donovan is leaving. Cable comes in. They've got Brody. They've got the map. Kill the American conspirators. Another great line. Germany has declared war on the Jones boys. Absolute classic fucking line right there. Now, again, they have gotten out of the situation, and now we get the motorcycle chase scene. Ryan Campbell, you mentioned this earlier. Another great action set piece.
And one that would stack up in any film today. If like the next, spy thriller had that exact scene with like World War II era motorcycles and flipping around and stuff, it'd feel right at home in a modern film. So like it's just again really well done. You got the dude doing popping wheelies, just aura farming on the Nazi bike. You get Indy doing a jousting, which his dad seemed to enjoy. He grabs the jousting thing and he's a medieval like specialist. He was all about that. And then you get the stick in the prod and the thing, and it was flying up in the air. Just really action-packed scene, and then all leading to the crossroads of where they head next. And this is where we find out that there's more to the book, Brain, than just the map.
That's right. The diary spoke of how to get by the booby traps. And so they have to now go back.
I think Elsa was the first booby trap.
She booby trapped both of those. Elsa declared she wanted a pearl necklace from the Jones boys. Now listen. I apologize. Not really. And anyway,
From Sesame Street to pearl necklaces, you get it all on the Bulletproof Podcast.
That's right.
She wanted to ride that Jones train.
Okay. Thank you. So they end up.
What's your favorite train song, Ryan Campbell?
Please.
Come on, ride the train.
There you go. That's a good one. That's what I would have picked. I think he was asking for a song by the group Train, but I'm glad you went with the Quad City DJs because that's one of the greatest train songs of all time, if not the greatest. There's a lot of great train songs, though. I mean, we could spend a podcast talking about train songs.
We could do an article of the top train songs that no one will.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with an action movie, so that would actually be something that Toyman would do. It's just going to happen. I do want to thank Chad Michael Collins and the great movie Sniper No Nation for actually getting Toyman to review an action movie on our site. I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but thank you. Toyman did an action movie. Good job, Toyman. It's doing quite well.
You make it sound like I've completely given up on action movies.
Maybe somebody's no, you haven't, but sometimes I question what site I'm working for.
You do one No Surrender Cinema After Dark, and you just have to deal with all this nonsense.
I was going to say John Rhys Davies is in this. Kingpin from Trial of the Incredible Hulk. I think is that one you covered, Toyman? I think.
Yep, I've done all of the Hulk films.
Every one. Why haven't you done the 2 red brown Captain Americas yet?
I have those on DVD. I actually found those in Dollar Tree.
Oh, look at you. I probably paid $5 for mine.
In the wild.
I didn't send you that one? That wasn't one of the ones I sent you?
No, you sent me a bunch of shit. No, you didn't.
That's not true.
In some cases it may have been. But no, that one wasn't.
I sent you the guest.
You didn't send me the guest. You sent that to Chad Cruz got the good box. I got the good ship lollipop. How about that reference, everybody? That's an old one too, folks. That's like Shirley Temple, isn't it? She's fucking old.
Shirley Temple.
She's fucking old. She's fucking dead now, but she's old. That's older than Hogan's Heroes.
That's an uncomfortable video to watch too, because when she's singing it, she's like 10 and she's like sitting on the guy's laps and stuff. It's like, kind of creepy in respect.
Yeah, and don't go where you're going next, because I know where it is, and I don't want to hear about it.
I don't know where I'm going. Where am I going?
Talking about that television episode ever again on this podcast. Now listen. Listen.
Okay. Now I know. All right.
Now you know. Okay. We're back in Berlin for the diary, so they could avoid the booby traps. Indy finds Elsa. Then Matt, this is almost a Forrest Gump like, because Indy finds himself in quite the scenario. Who knew?
Yes, yeah. He's got the diary, and he and his father are trying to escape, but there's a mad rush pushing them in the other direction, and that is because the Führer himself is making his way down to his motorcade, and people want autographs. And so now, Indy is stuck, and Mr. Hitler is like, would you like an autograph as well? Here, let me sign this book that you have here. And he pulls it out and signs it Adolf Hitler and hands it back to Indy. And of course, Indy, being the spy, the adventurer that he is, he keeps right into character. And they grab the diary and they hit the road. But that's our cameo.
I can't think of like a movie that would, not to say this isn't serious, but like a adventure or a comedy or whatever that had featured Hitler as an actual character like this at this time.
There's a movie.
Like there's plenty of movies with Nazis, but not
Right.
like big old Adolf himself in the movie.
You know who played Adolf Hitler in a movie called Highway to Hell?
I do not.
Mr. Gilbert Gottfried.
Okay. Yeah, added to the
Ryan Campbell,
prestigious
have you
list.
seen Kung Fury?
No. Does that have a
You need to
kung
watch
fu
Kung- you
fighting
need-
Adolf Hitler?
Actually, yes.
Oh
There
my.
you go.
You need to watch Kung Fury. It does me no good to explain it. It's only a half hour. It's like a
Yeah,
short film.
I think Chad Cruz may have covered that many years ago
Gotcha.
when Chad Cruz covered films.
But going back to what we were talking about,
yeah.
Brandon, like the more of kind of old Hollywood remnants that are within this film, and part of it going back to the scene with Brody at the bazaar or whatever, and then this one, they're very much like we mentioned the kind of Lawrence of Arabia, giant sets with like hundreds of extras. And I think about this scene just encapsulates that for me. You've got a short scene that's maybe only a minute and a half. It's probably less than 2 minutes,
Right.
and you've got 200 extras on set in full costume, full Nazi stormtrooper helmet, trench coat. You've got like this giant fire. They're all throwing books on it, and all for it's really Elsa and Indy to have a conversation, and then him bumping into Hitler. That's it.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
did all of this just for those small moments. Now they would never do that.
Yeah,
They would-
CGI.
They would CGI they probably wouldn't even do 200 people because they would only CGI like 20 just to like establish where they are, and the shot would never leave the two of them, or whatever. Like it just you feel it, like the camera pans out. It's this ginormous set with all these people, and this is the only time we see it. This isn't like a set that's going to be reoccurring. They
Right.
literally set all this up, got all these people in costume, had all these extras on set, shot 2 minutes, and then tore it all down. Like that just goes to show we don't do that shit anymore.
Well, and Lucas is the one who's responsible, I think, right? You think of Attack of the Clones, every single one of those stormtroopers was CGI. So, when you see that big scene in Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan is going to the cloner place there and he sees this big clone army, every single person there was CGI.
Yeah. They bragged often about how there was like never a real clone trooper on screen.
Yeah. It's crazy that it's Lucas. It was, technically, right, Lucas, this is Spielberg making this movie, but with Lucas producing it. But yeah, the idea of Lucas like watching that scene that you're just talking about, Ryan, and then going like, boy, if I ever have my chance, I'm not going to do it like that.
Yeah, I could not have any of these people. Imagine if I could just CGI all of them.
Right.
And the cloner place that you mentioned, Matt, it was actually called Clones Are Us. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there's a little tidbit.
That's
for you.
That's what Camino is. It's just Clones Are Us in English or in basic.
So they're going to get out of Berlin via Zeppelin, and they get there, they get on, but then just before takeoff, here comes Vogel, and he's showing up. So Indy has to think fast. So he's like, was it like the purser? Is that who that would be looking for I don't know. It's not a conductor. It's not a fucking train. Anyway.
What do you call him? Yeah. What do you call the ticket like taker on a train though? Like
it would be a conductor on a train.
Conductor on a train.
Well, they drive the train. They don't like tear the tickets. Like
no, that's what they call the people.
Engineer. The engineer drives the train.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conductor is like the guy in charge of all that shit. He's the one out there, like all aboard, get up here. All right. Yeah. But anyway, Indy he starts going, tickets, please. And Vogel spots old Henry reading the newspaper and is like, his eyes light up. Those freaking German blue eyes light up. And tickets, please. He's like, what the fuck? And he gets tossed out the window. And then
no ticket.
Note, and the great gag. Everybody's like, oh, here's your tickets. Wonderful. Then
is it Dogma that does it? That's the Kevin Smith movie that does the bit, right? Where Silent Bob throws him out and goes, no ticket.
Yeah, I believe so.
That's Dogma.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
I know Family Guy did it too. That's another one to think of.
we get the Eskimo brothers talk, and then they start reading about the booby traps, and he's like, well, what does that mean? Well, we'll figure it out when we get there. Okay. And you could one of the great things, many great things, but one of the great things is Connery really pulls off like, this is what he's wanted his whole fucking life. So even though he's seen his son shoot people and it's like, I don't care. This is what I've wanted and I'm going for it. Like,
yeah, he's never been as close.
Right. Like, it's so close. Like, all this work I did, and I'm going to realize my dream. So he is.
And you're not only are you not going to realize it, you're going to let Nazis freaking realize it.
Exactly. It's both personal and
all your hard work just for for Adolf Hitler to live forever. Hell no.
No. Right. So it's great. So then they realize that the Zeppelin is turning around. So they have to use the plane to escape, which we get a great moment where they are shot down.
They got us, Brain. They got us.
They did. Due to Toyman, I don't believe Henry's ever shot a machine gun in an airplane before.
No, and that's kind of like their undoing, because he ends up taking out the tail of their plane as he's rotating around trying to take out the enemy. So again, adding a little bit of levity to these serious situations, a nice blend of action and humor here.
And that's really what the franchise did better than maybe anything else. They do have to make an emergency landing. They find a car to steal, and then we get the great car, plane, and tunnel sequence, Matt.
Yes, it's absolutely so. We get some like kind of North by Northwest stuff, and then I mean, I don't want to say it's Antonio Margheriti kind of stuff, but it's like, the car goes through the tunnel, and the plane, I guess when you're committed, you can't stop. I guess there's no brakes on a plane, right?
Right.
They were committed to the whole
on a plane, but no brakes on a plane.
Right, snakes on a plane, but no brakes on a plane. Or the asylum version, which is snakes on a train. So we can go back to the train. But anyway, the plane, unfortunately, the wings are too wide to get through the tunnel. So, but just again, how these movies work when they're at their best, when you think, oh, okay, our heroes are going to escape because the plane is going to burst into flames and blow up behind them. Right. No, the piece of the plane that makes it through the tunnel goes soaring past them in flames, which is just another beautiful moment.
They make eye contact with the poor pilot.
Yes.
And then but there were two planes coming after them. So as they're driving away, the other plane drops a bomb and the car ends up out of commission. And then we have something that I imagine, Matt, being the learned scholar that you are, you have said this to just someone that suddenly you remembered your Charlemagne.
I don't even know what that means. When he said it, I was like, what does that mean? Because I only know Charlemagne, I guess, like he united France. I guess he conquered.
I don't know.
France.
You're the Frenchman.
Yeah, right.
Pear tree. Why don't you tell us?
I should know, right? My lapsed, I discovered recently that the French side of my family moved to the U.S. or moved to Canada in the 1600s. So it's been a while, I guess. It's all those generations. The Charlemagne, I guess, slowly fell out, and I didn't know. So I had no idea what he was talking about. Did Charlemagne use an umbrella to get a whole bunch of birds
to fly? The rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky.
Oh, right.
I think it was more the quote than like an actual event that he might have done or something.
Right.
He did some writing of some sort. I don't know. I do know that I believe you can check me, folks. You can go right now to bulletproofaction.com and search for my review of Blood Warriors starring David Bradley. And is that Zags? Yeah, David Bradley and Zags. I believe in that one, I used the term, suddenly I remembered my Shalimar.
Take your word for it.
Was somebody dancing in the sheets?
No. Do you know why I did it, Toyman? What's another Shalimar song?
Is it like for a particular one? A Night to Remember?
No, it wasn't that one. It was the second time around.
Second time around, yes. That's a great
because that was the second time I watched it, and I enjoyed it more than the first time. So Suddenly I remembered my Shalimar. That's where I used it. So you can fact check me on that, folks. Again, bulletproofaction.com. Meanwhile, in the Republic of Haiti, I don't know. Anyway, desert place.
Yeah.
Donovan is working things out with the Sultan, not Rikishi. This is just a real Sultan. And he's like, oh, we've got riches from the richest German families. No. He wants that Rolls Royce, Ryan Campbell.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't want to ride in style, you know?
He even liked the color.
Yeah. It's good too.
And then we get another great line where he's like, I'll provide you with camels, troops, weapons, provisions, and tanks. You're welcome. That's good, Donovan. That's thinking on your feet, you Nazi-loving bastard. Anyway, Elsa gets words that the Jones boys have escaped. And now we're really
time?
Yeah.
She's probably just getting word that they escaped the castle. She'll even know about the other 3 times.
Right. So now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, guys, because they're making their way. They got the whole caravan, they got the tank, they got the jeeps, they got the camels. They're making their way. And there's
a mad dash to the Grail, Brain.
Indy. Yeah, this is a race, and there's no prize for second place, boy. Indy's up on the ridge, and he's got his binoculars. And Henry's like, what the hell are you doing? Get down. Nah, I'm well out of range. And here comes.
In true Indiana fashion.
Beautiful. And there goes the car. The car belonged to my brother-in-law, Sallah. I mean, this, like you said, Ryan Campbell, this makes use of all these characters. Perfect use of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone knows their role and is comfortable in that role. And it's just like everyone's at the peak of their abilities, it feels like. And yeah. It's pristine. It's perfect.
So now they're like, okay, shit, Indiana Jones, put Marcus Brody in the tank. Then the Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword show up and they start an attack. And Henry's like, who the hell are these? Let them. They're on our side. Who cares? They're keeping the Nazis busy.
Let them fight.
We've got to go find new transportation. Of course, Salah's really adamant about getting camels when Indy's like, no camels. But that's another little bit there. So Henry goes to get.
We need another prologue in the next movie to figure out why he doesn't like camels.
Right. Well, they're not as cooperative as a horse. I would, they could spit at you, and they're temperamental. But Henry goes to get Marcus, figuring, okay, all this commotion, I'll get Marcus. It's a rescue mission. But then sadly ends up a prisoner right alongside as these old friends, these old chums get together. And now, as much as I love the Escape from Venice boat sequence, I mean, Ryan Campbell, this fucking tank sequence.
Oh man,
there's something about desert chases in these movies, because the desert chase from Raiders is my favorite freaking part of that movie.
And any one of these in their own film, if that was just the highlight, like if that was the big set piece, if it's just the tank or just the Venice chase or just any of those things, would be like the highlight of most films. And this movie has an abundance of these standout scenes.
Yeah, we get the tank, the Henry and Marcus are inside. We get the pen is mightier than the sword. Something I'm sure our acclaimed author would agree with.
Yes. And it also reminds me of an old SNL sketch with, I don't know if you remember that sketch called Johnny Letter, where the guy was, it was like the Old West, but the guy could, because he could write, he could like get everybody in trouble and cause problems for people. And so like he's in the saloon and there's some like rough cowboy guy that gives him a hard time, and then because he's got glasses and everything, and then he's like, he's gonna write a letter about you, and then so the pen's mightier than the sword.
I don't know what that one is.
I thought you were gonna say the penis mightier. Because that's from Celebrity Jeopardy, isn't it? Where we had a Sean Connery character. Wasn't that one of them? I know anal bum cover is certainly one, but I think the penis mightier.
I think you're right. Yeah, whatever the Sean Connery ones were great. What was
instead of therapists, right?
The rapist.
The
rapist. Yeah. You're right.
I'll take a rapist for 500.
Right.
Oh, god damn. Everybody pause this and go watch some
Some
Celebrity
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Yeah,
clip.
SNL clips.
Yes. Yeah, Johnny Letter was it was a Mike Myers one. It was kind of one of those like after 12:30, I think once, but
Yeah. They were taking some chances.
yeah, exactly. Yes. So
Yeah, put that one after 12:30. After the second.
That's after the
musical
second,
performance.
right? Yeah.
yeah.
They usually get cut for time. If not, we'll throw them in there.
So yeah, we get the Panismiter of the story. We get Henry blowing up a truck full of troops, which is wonderful.
Yes.
And again, Marcus is like, "Oh, it's war." And then, so yeah, Henry's now fully on board. Like you said, Ryan, we can't let these fucking Nazis get this Holy Grail. Then we get to see Indy's stuck on a side turret, and they're
The
coming.
bit where he like drops off the side to get the rock and the full horse sprint. Oh,
Yeah.
The horse work in this movie. Like there's so many great stunts, but even just admiring these people like full speed on horses doing some of these stunts.
All
Insane.
practical things happening.
Yes.
This is all really happening. But yeah, so Indy's about to, and Vogel's like, yeah, just keep driving straight. He's gonna die when we get to that edge there. But then Marcus gets in on that. He clunks a guy on the head, which shoots off a bullet, which he's ricocheting all over, and hits the driver. I mean, this is just perfect freaking timing. And yeah, the driver leans forward on the control, and then the tank veers and saves Indy. What a god! Like, not only just, I mean, the fact that they pull it off, but who can even conceive? This is where it blows my. Who even conceives this? Like, I know you storyboard the fuck out of this shit, but man, that's some good shit right there.
And to
Props.
Ryan Campbell's point from earlier with the motorcycle chase, this is a sequence that would fit right in with like a Fast and the Furious or something, some type of bombastic blockbuster. Nowadays,
Fast
you
and
could
the
do this.
Furious go back
nowadays.
in time to get the Holy Grail. That they'll probably try that.
Well, and like you said, Brain, three movies now establishing this and how they get to just play with the world they've built, and that things just kind of work out for Indy. Like it's not easy, but they just kind of work out. And if any other movie like had to ricochet that casually saves them, you'd be like, oh, that's hokey.
Yeah.
But like it's just Indy. Like each movie has some sort of like Rube Goldberg-esque moment that just kind of like works out for Indy in the end. And it's almost like the movie knows this too, because at the very end he's sitting there and his hat just rolls back in the screen. Like it's just the most
beautiful.
The nod to the way these movies just kind of the world just kind of works out for Indy.
Yeah, so we get that. So that helps save Indy. Now they're all up on top of the tank. And then, oh my God, the line of all lines in this entire fucking movie. When Marcus says, how does one get off this thing? And Indy rears back and knocks him right. That is the greatest thing in the whole fucking world. I'll tell you, the whole world, I say.
The balance of like tense action moments with the comedy injected into it. I don't know if any sequence has ever done it better. Like they balance both of them perfectly in the mix of happenstance and skill, and then the tense moments, and then the levity and the comedic moments, all in this hodgepodge scene, and it all is just played perfectly.
Beautiful. And Sallah comes by. He rescues Henry, who's like on the tank treads. He's about, kind of reminded me. Didn't 007 go on one of those little stretcher things and like never say never again? I think he did. But anyway, Indy and Vogel are fighting on the tank all the way. This thing's going over the edge, folks. This thing's going. It's gone. Indy's dead, Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, he has his Aragon moment where he rides off and everybody walks to the cliff and assumes that he's dead, only for him to come into frame and kind of look over with them.
Yeah, he's standing right there with them, and it's like, you can't just sit. We're so close to the end, and we are, folks. Don't worry, we're getting there, because now we're going to the cavern, the cave.
The cave of the crescent moon.
Yeah, the canyon. We're in the canyon of the crescent moon. This is it. We're going to get there. But the bad guys have got there first. But they are having zero luck, Toyman, with these booby traps.
Yeah, they're not making any headway. So now.
Well,
Go on,
I don't know if he did that on. That's his Alfred. That's his Lord Alfred. But I don't know if he meant to do that, Brain. What do you think?
I don't think he did either, but I put him over regardless because it was good. It was like one of those Indiana Jones moments. It just happened to work out for him.
It works.
But yeah, they don't make any headway. Very good. You win.
They're taking the just throw bodies at it approach, you know.
Yeah, they've got expendable troops and they're going to expend them. So Donovan's like, all right, this isn't working, but now they realize, oh, we've got company with us. All right, well, shooting me won't do you any good. You're absolutely right. Boom, shoots Henry. Now, Indy, you have no choice. You got to get the Grail because that's the only thing that's going to save your dad. And then
stakes are raised just like that.
And then, Matt, we get a movie. No other movie in the history of movies has had the word penitent in it more than this one, I would say. You've seen many movies. Please prove me wrong if you can, but I think this one takes the cake.
If there is one, I don't know of it. I mean, maybe I know like Gary Daniels has done a couple of Christian movies. I've got to see more of them.
Who doesn't?
I've seen one of the three. Probably gonna have to watch another one this year because I'm out of Gary Daniels movies to review. So I'm now, so we'll see. Maybe one of those uses the word penitent more than this.
I have two movies called Penitent. One came out in 2017 and one in 2021.
Do you think they say it a lot in there?
I don't know.
The penitent. Only
is it kind of like the Bastards theory for
right? Yeah,
for a movie?
It could have bastard in the title. Doesn't mean it's going to have that many or any bastards. Yeah. I've been down that road. Penitent.
I can use it in a sentence. Both of the Joneses penitented Elsa in the early part of the film.
You just lost all the
goodwill.
That's you know what? I'm kind of like Al Bundy. I get ahead and then I just kind of can't help but keep going.
He even tried to go back to the head well and it didn't.
Yeah.
Try to bring it back.
Yeah. Where's my cricket sounds? I'll have to put that and Matt's song in right there. So yeah, Indy does. He gets by. The penitent man kneels before God, and he also does like a forward lucha roll somehow. But he does it, and
I do that whenever I'm at the Catholic Mass, Brain, and I kneel and then do a ninja roll because I think that's part of the.
You get the holy water, you genuflect, and you just roll right in.
But because the idea, right, is that if they only want Christians to be able to get it, not Muslims, and Muslims, their heads touch the ground when they pray, whereas Christians, right, Catholics, right, you do the kneel right when you go into the pew, and so that second blade is supposed to cut off the head if you're a Muslim.
Theology expert,
and he knew, Jones knew the difference between the two, and he knew that second blade was coming.
Hashtag theology expert. All right.
I read it in the trivia actually. So
we're gonna get Alex O'Connor on this podcast next. Who knows that is?
No, I'm sure somebody does. So he gets through. He's got the word of God, so he has to like hopscotch on the spell out the name. But Jehovah begins with an I in Latin.
We all know that now.
And so he gets there. He does the leap of faith. That freaks me. That's too high. I don't like that at all. But he does it. He makes it. So he's there. He gets to the knight and he's like, hey, I got to try to. And the knight's like, oh, what the hell are you? You're dressed up oddly for a knight. It's like, dude, you're 700 some years old. Shut up. But anyway, Elsa and Donovan show up before Indy could fully explain what the hell's going on. And Toyman, this room is just filled with chalices.
It's a guessing game, and obviously having to guess the correct one, it's one of many. So you get the right one, you're good. If not, it's pretty much imminent doom. Never mind a temple of doom. You're pretty much done for if you choose poorly, which somebody is about to do.
Yeah, and Elsa actually chooses for him. Now, do you guys think Elsa purposely like?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's pretty much implied. I don't know if Indiana picked up on it because she looks at Indiana. Like after she gives it to him, it's kind of like we both know the truth.
Yeah, let's bang in here is what you
I mean, and they already kind of laid the groundwork for that at the book burning when she's not crazy about what the Nazis are doing, and Indiana grabs her by the throat and she says, "All I have to do is scream." Like she's like, I'm letting you get the diary and leave. I could end this. I wanted to. So they've laid some seeds that she's, kind of not quite a redemption arc, but maybe is okay with the Jones brothers, not brothers, the Jones boys getting the Grail.
Well, they're Eskimo brothers, so that is
it's true.
Correct. That is partially correct. Yeah. So he did in fact choose poorly. So Indy is going to have to choose more wise, and of course he's like, this is the cup of a carpenter, and it works. And Indy's good, and he's like, okay, but then the knight's like, you cannot take that freaking
fine print. There's always fine print,
right.
Brian.
You can't take that Grail outside of past the seal, and eternal life only works in this freaking cave, basically. So, what
happens if you just like came back to the cave every 30 years?
Yeah, I guess.
Took a drink.
It was quite
like later.
It's only going to get harder and harder to get there as you. It's a pain in the ass to get there. Anyway, Indy rushes out to his dad, pours the water from the Grail on Henry's wound. You see it instantly healing. And Henry gets to sip from the Grail, and he's coming back. He's healthy, and just a great moment where Henry realizes what he has in his hand. He has what he's been looking for, Ryan Campbell.
The motherfucking Grail, man.
Oh my word!
It was real. It was true, and he found it. Him and his son together. It's amazing.
Indeed. And but then, Matt, I know this reminded you of a classic film, maybe one that we've spoke about before, because greedy Elsa and her leather gloves get a hold of that Holy Grail.
So yes, so what happens is that we, like you said, we got the warning: don't take the chalice beyond the threshold, or the seal. Don't take it beyond the seal. She does take it beyond the seal.
She was there to hear the warning too. What the heck are you doing, lady?
Right. The warning was there. Sometimes people just don't listen. It's like, I ride the subway here in Philadelphia. There's signs all the time that say, don't smoke on the subway, but people smoke on the subway all the time. So, she's probably thinking the same thing. She's probably someone who, well, I guess back then it was okay to smoke on the subway. So I can't fault her for that. But, she's somebody who today, right, would smoke on the subway as well, because, so she just didn't listen, and she thought she knew better, and she didn't. Now the place is starting to break apart, and she is in one of the cracks. She's fallen through this crack that has formed in the ground, and
but right before that though, she is so close to having it. She like dives for it first, and it's not like in a crack, and she just like punches it. It's it's like watching a football game where there's a fumble and your team, like, all they gotta do is fall on it. It like squirts out and goes flying.
Squirts out, indeed.
Oh, wait a minute.
Elsa had a lot of stuff squirting out when she wanted those pearl necklaces.
But another thing I think, think about how this movie was better than Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is just like constantly like, oh, where's the antidote? It's falling all over the place. Oh, where's the diamond? It's getting kicked all over the place. This movie's like, okay, I think we did that for way too long in Temple of Doom. We're only going to do it for like a scene or two here and give you just a little bit of it, just a little throwback to that, but it's not going to take forever.
Right. And then she's dangling there, and she's got the gloves on.
Oh.
And you liken this to the great film. We've talked about it on this podcast as well. Riot.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Poor Sugar Ray.
Yeah, they must have seen this and been inspired and said, what it was is when they made Riot, they were like, well, okay, we've only got Sugar Ray for so much of the movie. How are we going to kill his character off? And they're like, one of them's like, hey, I was just watching Indiana Jones' Last Crusade. I think I've got it. And they're like, we're going to have him pick up the Holy Grail. And no. We're not going to do the Holy Grail. We're going to have a helicopter that's almost exploding, that's hanging off the thing. Maybe they did a double feature of Superman in Last Crusade, because we've also got the helicopter falling off, and then we've got the glove. But just like Gary Daniels, who's trying to hold on to Sugar Ray, and they're like, no, we need to get you out of the film. Sorry, we don't have enough time. The glove falls off. Elsa is in a similar situation. She's got the glove. Now, the only thing is that in her case, if she didn't reach for the cup, She could have used her other hand to grab on.
So what you're saying, Matt, is Elsa couldn't let it go?
Exactly. She couldn't let it go. Sorry. I don't have any kids, but I do recognize the reference.
Toyman, you should have got that reference.
I did. I chuckled. I got it.
You got it.
He went tee. He enjoyed it.
I didn't tee.
It's no making headway, but I've been waiting to get that in the last few minutes. So that's my
Indy was waiting to get it in too, but it didn't. Venice helps.
He didn't wait too long.
He sure.
That's why he's telling her just to give him his hand. Like, give me your other hand so we can bang.
Right.
I don't want you to die.
So, and I'm glad you mentioned Superman, Matt, because when the place is falling apart and like the earth is shifting, it reminded me of like when Krypton is about to blow up and it's all cracking and falling apart and this is coming up and people are falling in the goddamn cracks and we're dying. This time we only had one person to fall in the crack, and it was poor Elsa. But then Indy finds himself in the same damn spot, and he too is like, "Oh, I can reach it. I can reach it." He doesn't.
He touches it. Yeah, he actually touches it.
Yeah, he's got a fingertip on it, and his dad comes in, and for the first and only time in the movie, he calls him Indiana, and that's how he's like, "Oh, that got my attention."
In a very like somber Sean Connery tone.
Yep.
Let it go, Indiana.
Yep. And then our heroes get out. Henry does get to see the knight before they leave.
The knight's like, "The fuck you guys doing? Came here
I thought I was done.
And now I'm stuck here for the rest of this goddamn existence."
So he's there. And then we get out and we find out that Indiana Jones is actually Henry Jones Jr. and that their dog was named Indiana.
Oh, Sallah loved that bit.
He enjoyed it. And then all of them are on horseback. Marcus tells them, "I'll lead the way," and he practically busts his ass as he just wildly rides off, and Indy has to save him. Beautifully done. End credits go. John Williams, take us home. Final thoughts. Let's turn to our guest, Matt.
Yeah, I just talking about that end scene there. I think even before that, when Indiana Jones, when he falls off the cliff and we think he's dead, and we see the other three guys are looking over the cliff at him, and then he shows up. The cast in this movie, the story, the action, the stunt pieces, it's all just so great, and the way it looks as well. I think that making it look like it was made in the '60s with the film stock. I personally, I kind of like I kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark, a little bit better just because it was the first one. But this is, this is pretty close to a perfect movie. I think you could say it's a perfect movie in that sense that like there's really no nits to pick. This is not like when you and I were talking about the tension and every 5 minutes.
You ruined it. You ruined that movie for me. But go on.
We did. But this is such a great one. And I think. For me, when I think of sort of this era of movies that these guys, like Spielberg, Lucas, Reitman, Donner, et cetera, are making, by the time Jurassic Park comes out in '93, that's probably like the last of these movies, I think. And I was already kind of a jaded, I don't want to say Gen X, or I'm not quite that old, but in that age range where I was like, I don't watch blockbusters. I'm too cool for that kind of stuff. And I saw Jurassic Park a couple years after it came out and didn't like it. So this is kind of the last of those movies for me personally. And I feel like they go out in a bang with these kinds of movies. It's just such a great movie.
So it's the Last Crusade indeed for you.
For me, for sure. Yes.
Matt Poirier and the Last Crusade.
Yes.
And it doesn't have as nice of a ring to it. I apologize to you, Mr. Peartree. Toyman, your final thoughts.
Kind of like echoing Matt's point, Raiders of the Lost Ark was one of my favorite movies as a kid, but I think that over time, and it might be because by the time this movie came out and then the repeated viewings on cable, this was one of those movies that was always on HBO or Cinemax, whatever, a couple of times a week. This one has become my favorite of the Indiana Jones franchise. I don't know if it's the addition of Sean Connery, just the balance of the action and the humor. The tank scene is one of my favorite scenes, period. Like, that's just a great action sequence. This one is my favorite for a lot of the reasons that we've talked about over the podcast. Wasn't too high on the ensuing sequels, so I think that this was probably the last great Indiana Jones movie. And I think it comes close to meeting where the first one was, where Raiders of the Lost Ark was. But I think it overshadows Temple of Doom. I think that, to the point made earlier, it's not often that you get the third film being better or equal to the previous two, but this one does it.
So it's Chris DePetrillo and the Last Great Crusade. Is that what you're... Anyway, Ryan Campbell, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a perfect movie. Whenever I think of what that list looks like of perfect movies, this is just instantly the first one that comes to mind. It's not the only one on the list for me, but I gotta start kind of thinking about it more.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's a perfect movie? Last Crusade. Like instantly is just the first thing I go to. Doesn't miss a beat. Never has a lull. Balances everything perfectly. All the characters are so good in it. You got character adding, like Toyman mentioned, adding Sean Connery, the perfect mix of like levity and gravitas to the cast, but also playing the bits with that John Williams score. It's just fantastic. It just, a list of perfect movie list. I'd have to think a little bit about other ones I'd put on there, but if someone was like, hey, what's your list look like of the absolute perfect movies? Like I said, Last Crusade, top of the head, just instantly comes out of my mouth if someone asks me that question.
Yeah, absolutely. I do. It's perfect for me. And I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I saw that movie. That may be the movie I saw the most in a theater, just because I would have any human who wanted to take me to the thing to see it again, because I wanted to see. I had my grandpa. I remember going down to his basement and he had a fedora on the hat rack, like on the coat rack. And I'm like, oh my, and he let me have it. So I'd be freaking that summer just running around in my backyard with the damn fedora on. They had, when the Richfield Coliseum opened, they gave everybody gold medallions of Frank Sinatra because he's the first act. So they had the gold. So I had like the medallion thing, and I would just be running, just freaking probably got like a vine to be my whip, and I was just having the time of my goddamn life. I wish I could go back to those simple times. By God, but yeah. So I loved Raiders of the Lost Ark, but yeah, Last Crusade edges out just a bit, and I think it's the Connery factor. It's the Sean Connery factor. It's the increase of use. They use Marcus Brody more, who again to me is Lord Alfred Hayes, and I love Lord Alfred Hayes, so it all works. And then Sallah was great in the first one. Glad he came back. The Nazis are obviously the ultimate bad guys. You can't help but want to see them meet their demise. In so many of the sequences we talked about. Perfect film. Absolutely love this one, and glad we are talking about it or have talked about it. And
do we think it was made better because Temple of Doom was not, I don't know if I would say negatively received, but people were kind of left a little wanting out of it. Like
Temple of Doom
if Temple of Doom had been really good, and then like would it just been like too much? Was the lull one of the reasons why Last Crusade just like so much better?
Like they wanted to make sure that wasn't the last taste you had in your Temple of Doom is almost like the Halloween 3.
Like if Empire Strikes Back was just trash, would Return of the Jedi have been like, right? Yeah,
Temple of Doom just went too far off the path. Yeah, obviously from the way Matt's been talking about it, he fucking hates Temple of Doom, but I don't hate Temple of Doom. I don't mind. It's good. Again, to me, I'd rather watch a bad Indiana Jones movie or a not as good Indiana Jones movie than perhaps some other people's movies. Okay. I won't disparage anybody because I don't want to offend Toyman, but sorry, Dragon, but listen to me now. Yeah, it's perfect film. Let's just leave it at that. Sorry, Temple of Doom, but
what would you guys say of some of your other perfect films?
Superman,
yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I think Jaws. I think kind of that run in the late 70s, early 80s of I think Jaws, Star Wars or Empire. I think both, and then probably Empire maybe more than Star Wars, but then Superman. Yeah.
I don't even know if I would put A New Hope in there. I definitely Empire would say it's perfect.
Yeah. Empire was perfect.
Yeah.
I think Jurassic Park is perfect. I that's crazy, Matt, that you don't like Jurassic.
Well, no, it's not Jurassic Park's fault. It's my fault. So I've made it. It's just I probably have to revisit it at some point. But it's just I kind of had this mindset of like, it's not, like I said, it's not Jurassic Park's fault. It's me that I had this thing against blockbusters in the 90s. Like I just wasn't.
He was just being too cool.
Yeah, I was too cool for him.
He was a bit
Film
rebellious.
school is kind of like a film school.
I only liked either like indie films or direct to video movies.
You should do something with that love of
I know.
There might be something there, you know?
Exactly. But no, I mean, Jurassic Park, I do think of it like, I consider it to be the last of that era of these directors trying to make magic on the screen. Yeah. I think Jurassic Park's kind of the last one. And you can kind of see here in 89, I think Toyman, you mentioned how Batman comes out this year. When you look at subsequent years, other than Jurassic Park, you don't get a movie like Last Crusade that's the number, in the top 3 for the highest grossing. It starts to become the more hardcore action movies. You get, the Lethal Weapons, the Stallone movies, the Schwarzeneggers. And then, they kind of take over for a bit. And so, and I think in my head, I was lumping Jurassic Park in with those movies when it really belongs more with this era of movies. And it was just, 93, it was the last one, I think, of them.
There you go. All right, folks. Again, glad we got to talk about this one. Again, one of my all-time favorites. Perfect movie. And I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Social media.
Happy birthday, Brain.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really wished I stopped celebrating these about 15 years ago, but that's all right. Can't prevent them. I'm still.
You might as well watch a movie that you love.
Exactly. So again, you can hit us up at Bulletproof Pod on X and Blue Sky, at Bulletproof Action on Instagram and Facebook. We're also at Bulletproof Pod on Letterboxd, and I'm Chris the Brain on Letterboxd. Ryan Campbell, you'll be wrapping up your Invincible coverage.
Yes,
tomorrow,
big time. And I owe listeners a apology.
Please do.
I have no idea where I got it that this was the last season of Invincible.
Because
I don't know where.
It makes me question anything else you post.
I don't know, and I've been doing it like since before it premiered. I was been writing and saying.
I remember when you first said it. I'm like, I didn't notice anything about that, but I don't follow it, so I'm like, all right, he knows better than I do.
I don't know where I heard that, where I grabbed that, but I apologize, and I'm glad because it's been freaking insane.
I am too.
They are on a stretch of episodes. Last 3 episodes were like 9.7, 9.4, and 9.8 on the IMDb scale. Like the last 3 episodes they've run, but they're on a hell of a run. But it's been amazing. Yeah, the season finale, not the series finale, should be dropping tomorrow as you're listening to this. Yeah, so check it out. I'm excited. I'm currently 3D printing a Omni-Man and Invincible statue figure that I'm going to be painting this week to celebrate. So it's going to be fun.
And you're quite the painter. I'm very impressed by your skills.
Thank you. If you're really curious, you can go check out my YouTube channel, Rycam Studios, where I put the videos and like the shorts up as I paint them. But you can go check that out. But also, Mall is out as well. It too is getting like 10 out of 10s and 9.8s for every episode. So there's a hell of a run for animated series right now running. So we're covering Mall, Shadow Lord as well, and Invincible. And we're gonna be heading into season of the blockbusters. Did you guys? Side note: did you guys see the Street Fighter trailer?
No, I did not watch it.
I haven't watched. I saw it popped up, but I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
It looks pretty fun. Between that, we got that Mortal Kombat, and then we got Masters of the Universe. It's gonna be a hell of a summer for some.
It's gonna be good. It's not just cartoons over on Bulletproof Action. I've also reviewed Forbidden City, the latest from Well Go USA, and I'll be seeing Normal tomorrow morning as we're recording this. So I'm going at a DTVC morning movie. That's like one of his gimmicks. I'm going to do it. So, but yes, Matt, why don't you let everybody know where they could find you and all the things that you do? On the interwebs.
dtvconnoisseur.blogspot.com. That's the main site. That's where you can find links to everything. Also, where we were posting reviews on direct-to-video movies. And then we have the podcast, which you can find on most major podcatchers, DTVC podcast. Brain, speaking of me hitting a guest milestone, Brain was on recently. He also hit a guest milestone. He was on his 10th time, which I didn't realize it at the time. I've only just recently cataloged my episodes to see how many times people have been on. But he hit that milestone as we talked about detention. So you can check that out there. And my newest novel, Mark in Sales, is available on Kindle Unlimited, and in paperback. You can check it out on Amazon. It follows Mark, who is really good at selling cut rate health insurance. And the problem is he doesn't see his family as often while he's making all this money for them. But at the same time, he starts to realize that this cut rate health insurance, while the companies like it because they don't have to pay as much for it, the people that get stuck with it, it's not really great for them. So he kind of hits this dilemma of like, maybe I should stop selling this and I should do something else so I can see my family more. And then his company gives him the promotion he's always wanted. So he's got this dilemma of what do I do from there? So again, you can check that out on Amazon, Mark in Sales.
There you go. And thank you, Matt, for joining us for this very special episode. We'll have to bring you back on during Actionversary, maybe. That's a good time to have special guests. Don't you think, Toyman?
I agree. It's always nice to have some like-minded folks on here. We've built a nice little network of people who have their own podcasts or who share their similar thoughts as to the films and the television shows that we discuss and review on the site. So absolutely. It's an open door policy most of the time when you decide to take the lock off that door.
That's right. You're right. When I decide to take that, you're right.
When he decides not to slip out the window because there's too many people banging on the door.
Yeah, there are sometimes there's people banging on the door to get on this show for reasons that I still haven't figured out. But that's the way it is. It was a wonderful evening. This has to be the longest episode in the history of the podcast, and I figured it would be, because this is a magnificent movie that needed the bulletproof action. That's a DTVC thing, the bulletproof action treatment.
Yes.
That's what he always says. And we gave it to it right here, just like Indy gave it to Elsa in Venice.
He sure didn't let it go.
He did not. Get that one in there one more time, Ryan Campbell. Yeah. You now got it in there twice. We've made some great headway here with Toyman potentially not being on the show anymore, but that's fine. These things happen. But no, Toyman will be back. Ryan will be back. I will be back. So stay tuned for more of the Bulletproof Podcast.